to Critical Rollback,
where we look back upon the 2015 era girl power feminism and hope it does not look back upon us.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
My name is Jana.
I'm Bal.
And we're here also to talk about Critical Role Episode 8.
Hi.
Hi. It's called Glass and Bone. It came out on April 30th. Or do we have an anecdote to get into before we do that?
I feel like we've actually gotten all of our anecdotes out of the way because we've been talking for so long before this. But are there any anecdotes that we want to say? Like a quick one?
Nope. I don't have any historical fun facts about today.
Let me think. I've been thinking so much about that line that I can't think. Oh, I've been feeding a cat.
Oh yeah, you're trying to befriend that stray in your neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, she gives me weird vibes. I've been consulting a lot of feral cat experts and they've all just kind of shrugged at me. Like, apparently it's very weird for a stray cat to do the conversing things that cats do.
Oh, to meow at you?
Yeah, well, not just to meow for food, because that's what she does, but, like, cats meow for a lot of reasons. Sometimes just because she wants something. Like, sometimes cats just want things, so they meow. But, like, the thing where,
and they do that only to humans, right? And their own kittens?
Yeah. But also to do the specific thing where they, like, mimic human speech patterns, where, like, you talk at them and then they meow, and then they pause so you can answer, and then they meow when you stop.
You have conversations.
Yeah. She does the conversation thing, which is, like, a very domestic cat thing. It's not a very feral cat thing to do.
So maybe she's just an outdoor cat and you're abducting her.
No, she's not an outdoor cat. She's ear-tipped, which means that she's probably been picked up by, like, a spay program.
Okay.
So she was probably at some point picked up, neutered, spayed, and then released.
Okay.
And she does not appear to be going back to any home. So she does appear to live there.
Well then, you keep us posted on how that went.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I have a cat at the end of this or not.
You promised me you wouldn't, but...
I mean, I also don't think that even if I somehow bait this cat into following me home, I don't think that I'll probably wind up keeping her unless I get very attached, which is always a possibility, but that's thinking way too ahead.
Please.
Because I'm not in the place to have pets currently, unfortunately.
Please, I'm pretty sure you would get attached.
I would get attached to everything. Just because I get attached doesn't mean that I should keep a pet, you know? Like,
I'm just being weird about this. I don't like my friends having cats because it means I can't visit them.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't think this cat is following me home.
I mean, you also already live with a cat.
I also already live with a cat. Yeah, that's true. So.
And I'm not going to come over to your country anytime soon, am I?
No. Not with how we're doing about COVID.
First, because money. Second, because COVID is more of a thing than it has ever been before.
Yes, and meanwhile,
what the fuck?
I'm trying to save so I can visit your country.
Oh, look, we're both doing the same thing.
Yeah, let's not gift of magi each other.
I don't recommend coming to this country right now because, again, COVID has never been more of a thing.
I mean, likewise, so...
Jeez, we're all just quietly failing at the COVID thing, aren't we?
Deeply. Anyway, on lighter
I'm getting
news,
boosted in 2 weeks, that's wonderful.
I'm getting boosted in this week. Which is, by the way...
I forgot to mention that.
Oh
yeah, it is November 21st, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We have just recorded something that has probably been published for ages by the time you get to this episode.
A bonus
episode where we rant... Yeah. A bonus episode where we rant about Vex's depiction and supplementary material, while looking sort of forward to Kith and Kin.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It is available to all of our patrons.
Sorry, I found a D4 on the ground.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You passed that perception check and didn't fall into your own trap.
I did.
Congratulations.
Didn't step on the call trip. Do you want to try to guess a number between 1 and 4?
3.
It was a 2.
Damn it. I was close.
I was close. Alright, shall we get into this episode?
Yeah. Sure.
Hello there. I am here to give you the content and spoiler warnings for episode 8 of Campaign 1. We're going to start with the content warnings, and I'll just say that Taliesin uses non-malicious but uncomfortable language around sex work in this episode, which I do not recommend doing. Again, this was recorded a few years ago, so take it with a grain of salt. There's also a lot of, like, early 2010s, or I guess mid-2010s, like, kind of, like, girl boss oversaturation, cringe performative feminism. I know that's, like, a lot of keywords to use, but in general, it's just a little uncomfortable. There's a lot of, like, you go girl, and you don't need no man kind of stuff, and that is not necessarily bad, it's just very uncomfortable. There's also a lot of Trinket endangerment in this episode, but, you know, he's okay. He's just... whoa. We also do discuss scat slightly, and various bodily functions. There's also quite a bit of body horror in this episode. There's the real, like, first humanoid Stitch monster, which is explored in detail, and it gets a little bit detailed, and you might want to skip that part if that's a little too much for you. And there is reference, but not descriptions, of what is thought to be cannibalism at the moment. As for the spoiler warnings, I can't think of anything in particular. We do talk very, very briefly about She-Ra, but I don't think we spoil anything from it specifically. And we do mention something very vaguely from Campaign 2, but it isn't really a spoiler, it's just kind of an interaction that happens between characters. And I think that's pretty much it. So, thank you very much for listening to the content and spoiler warnings, and enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye!
Yeah, so I've got a few notes on the out-of-game tidbits.
I didn't really notice very much in the out-of-game for this episode, other than, like, Travis isn't here.
Yeah, which Matt uses the word pussy in a derogatory way to describe him, which brings us right back to the early 2010s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's also rough because, like, Sam gets lambasted, like, gets rightfully called out for some of it, but, like,
Yeah, and then we just go into girl power shit that we are probably going to dissect later on.
Yes.
Because this is our lane. This is for once our lane.
Very much our lane. We finally reached our lane.
There are very few lanes we get to be in. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Liam is wearing a... Huh?
Darling, sweetheart, duck of my life.
Yes?
You just showed up on this document as an anonymous duck.
Yeah!
Woo! This was worth a shout out.
This was definitely worth a shout out. I also liked how quietly we spoke, as though you saw, like, a rare animal, like a wild animal, and just like, shh, don't scare it.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of weird, bad, uncomfortable stuff that we should have left in 2015, Travis is missing this game because he's watching Age of Ultron, which, imagine missing D&D for that.
Wow, never. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like, I've seen this in theaters, enthusiastically,
Age of
until
Ultron?
it started. Uh-huh.
I did not watch it in theaters. I didn't watch it at all.
Good for you. I was sort of like, I think basically up until this point in Civil War, I was like reluctantly on the Marvel hype train. I watched a bunch of solo movies and I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 2 seasons until they made me more sorry for the Nazi that I could sympathize with everyone else, which was a fault with the show in my view.
Yeah.
So I quit it.
I watched a lot of the solo movies, and I watched Avengers, and I liked all of them okay. And then just, like, the bubble of enthusiasm burst very quickly. It was just like, this is unsustainable.
Yep. Basically with Age of Ultron, in which they decided to put the one female character together with the least interesting male character, like...
Right.
She made up with Captain America before that, but I understand why you don't want to double down on that one. Not that you did double down on the things people actually liked about the Captain America movies either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, this was back when Marvel was still reigning supreme and not just kind of sad and keeping on like they kind of right now, I'd say.
Just sluggishly moving through cinema like a horrible little animal.
It's just everywhere and it's around, and like their shows are kind of fun, I guess.
It used to be fun.
It used to be fun, yes. I mean, I watched the Loki show because a friend wanted to see it and it was fine. It's fine.
I watched the first season of Jessica. What is it called?
Jessica Jones. That was early on Marvel. It's not the sad slog we're in right now.
Yeah, no, this is new shows. This is Disney Plus shows.
And this was excellent, and it have David Tennant, so that doesn't even count.
Yes. So these are post Disney Plus shows, which are.
I watched 2 seasons of Agent Carter.
I watched just the first season, and I tried the second season. I was like, this is all of the fun things are gone.
I only watched the first season, right, because I knew all the fun things were gone.
But season 1 was very fun. And gay.
Mm-hmm.
Very gay.
Yeah. In many directions. Anyways, speaking of Marvel stuff, Liam is watching a Hydra shirt, I think.
He is.
Which, yeah.
Aren't those Nazis?
I mean, yeah, kind of worse than Nazis, but not a genocide. Kind of also a genocide. It's kind of like, you know, the Empire and Star Wars, and that they are very much fascist and Nazi adjacent, but you still should sell merch of them.
Yeah, that.
Which this is there's a Lindsay Ellis video about that. Watch that.
Mm-hmm.
It's specifically about Star Wars, but Hydra is kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Laura is wearing a Vala Morghulis shirt. Do you know what that is?
All men must die?
Yes! You know what it is, so you also know where it's from.
Game of Thrones, yeah. I just couldn't remember if it's
whoa!
Like, Dracarys is the thing that means fire, right?
Yep, that's the one that makes dragons go boom.
I knew that one of them makes the dragons go boom and the other one means all men must die, but I couldn't remember which was which.
Vala Morghulis is all men must die, and your answer to this was Vala Dohaeris, which is all men must serve. Or you are girl boss about it and say, but we are not men, but hey,
women must also die, I'm sorry to tell you this.
Especially the one that said it. Mm-hmm. Spoilers?
Spoilers, I guess.
And also, Marisha is wearing a Widowmaker shirt.
Does anyone watch Game of Thrones anymore?
No, the finale poisoned the well, and they've come around to realize it was never that good in the first place.
Yay!
Check out the Unabashed Book Snobbery podcast that's been onto this ever since 2014, and also I'm on it sometimes.
Yes, you are. You did a great job.
It's how I got the chutzpah to do this.
Yeah.
Did I use that word correctly? I used it correctly, right?
Yes. Chutzpah.
Yay!
So Marisha's
wearing a Widowmaker shirt. So we have 3 things that were totally cool and all the rage in 2015, and are kind of not cool anymore.
Can't believe Overwatch was over 6 years ago. God, I remember the
She's very early. I think it was in early access or something. Yeah, I think that's what's happening at the time.
Yeah, I remember the promo videos coming out. I remember when people shipped Tracer and Widowmaker. Mm-hmm.
Before Tracer had that canonic wife of hers or something? Girlfriend? I don't know.
There should be something hey, those who name tropes, there should be a new trope that's like confirmation of gay, but in a kind of toothless and like meaningless way where you're like, this character is gay and also has a relationship with this other character who is never going to come up ever again. And also in a way that
cute Christmas art of them.
And also in a way that denies the main fan favorite like ship that the creators are very much aware of. Because this has happened several times.
Interesting. It does, yes. It's like after we stopped killing the gays dramatically, I think this is what we went to.
Yeah, we're just toothlessly exhibiting them. And then shoving them into like a little cupboard.
But if they're actually gay, why aren't they gay together?
And like, hey, if they're gay, does their partner ever care about how like they're so invested in their relationship with this other guy?
Is this an issue?
Is this
Do
an
they know
issue?
each other? Is this like a polycule situation? What?
Maybe.
Anywho,
Merge has
last
really
point
good hair.
I have at this. Yes,
That's your last point.
has like yes. I mean it's very much early 2010 CW teen show hair,
Oh, like
which works for her.
she looks like she has one of the two wigs, but she has the good wig.
Yeah, that too. Just that it's not a wig.
It's not a
I
wig,
think.
it's her hair.
Pretty
She
sure.
just has good hair.
She just has good hair. So, getting to the actual content of the episode, only 60 minutes in. We are learning. We're getting better at this.
Yeah, we're honing it down. We're a well-oiled machine. It also helps that we talked for like an hour and a half before this, so we got all the
do this
jennies
more
out.
often. Alright, so what happened last week?
Well, last
2 weeks ago.
2
last
weeks.
episode.
Last episode. So they've already
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Last episode 6 years ago. They had already found Kima, and were attempting
Yay!
to get her stuff back and take down the Durgar
Whoa!
royalty, which went royally, phenomenally
Woo.
wrong.
Boo.
How did it go wrong?
Yes. Because Grog suffered the average fate of a barbarian. I hope Ashton knows what he's in for. And was like mind controlled and abducted by the Dorga Queen through possibly illegal spell usage, but the Umpire wasn't there to tell us it was illegal, so hey. Maybe she was in Larship, we didn't know about it. Who knows?
You know, it's really...
Tiberius and...
I know thinking about this, and it's a little funny that Ashton has like part of his brain exposed, because it's basically as though they have like a big point, like an arrow pointing to their big glowing weak spot.
Huh. But also to like, you can shoot me in the head and it won't kill me.
Yeah, but it's also like, hey,
Suckers.
My brain is weak to mind control. Hit me in the this.
We will see. Maybe they can escape this fate and just never fall victim to being mind controlled, breaking the long tradition of barbarians being mind controlled.
Sorry, I'm being a dick right now. Keep going with the recap. You were telling us about Tiberius.
Interrupt me anytime I want to talk about Tiberius. Seriously. Yeah, he's petrified and also on Durgar God right now in a wonderful, lovely plan. That failed immediately. And Kima is also petrified. The Durgar Queen was like, fuck this, scorched earth. Made the lava come down on them. The entire castle is run over by it. They drag all the statues out. And Vex's foot was like melted a little, but don't worry about it too much.
It's just a little melted. You know, it's just a little.
Just a little.
Like when
he can still walk.
When you microwave something that's a little bit too long.
Yeah, it's just like a tiny disadvantage sometimes.
Sometimes when they remember.
He can still... Yeah, he can still walk just fine.
Alrighty. And that is about where we left off.
Yeah, so they are booting it out of the castle and trying to find a place to not be under attack for a few hours.
Yeah, just to figure their shit out. And possibly de-petrify their petrified allies.
I mean, if they had the bag of holding, I'd vote to just keep Tiberius in. And maybe Kima too, but I like Kima.
Yeah, their biggest mistake is...
I think that's actually what they do with Kima later on, isn't it?
Yeah, they later on in this episode, when she gets petrified again. I love Kima so much. She has a problem.
It's like barbarians get mind controlled. She just gets taken out of fights.
She gets thrown into pits. She gets turned into stone.
Right. Right.
Sometimes,
she went into this pit with Vex, didn't she?
Sometimes she has to fight against something that flies. And she doesn't know how to do that. So she just kind of...
Like, sometimes they will throw her a bone and have another thing on the ground to fight for her to fight, but...
Sometimes she falls into the ocean.
Oh, God, yes.
Kima tries really hard, is what you should know, is that she tries very, very hard.
She does. She's also just at the constant, like, she's not even, it's not even, she's not even the butt of jokes here on purpose. It just always happens to her.
Yeah, it's her and like Jamansa Ord later on. Just, hi, I've come to fight. No, I haven't.
Hi, I've come to fight. I'm completely useless. Okay.
Just gonna sit here and look nice.
Look at me sparkle.
See how I sparkle.
I'm so shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
so where do we start off this episode?
they find like an outcropping of rock to hide behind with some Keyleth spells, which they sure have a lot of those at this level.
Yeah, they have a lot of Keyleth spells. She also didn't get to use the spells very much during combat, so...
Yeah, okay, that is fair. She was a giant scorpion for parts of it.
Yeah, so she didn't really get to cast anything. So she had some spells, including Shape Earth, was it?
No, here they use hallucinatory terrain to pretend they're like behind a lava stream.
Right, yes, because they almost freak out about the lava stream and it's like, oh no, that's an illusion.
Yeah, like Vex goes scouting to see how safe they are, and then Vex pokes his head out of the lava and is like, this is an illusion, and me and lava shouldn't be triggering you right now at all.
This is the best conversation we've ever had with Tiberius. Yes, correct?
Yes, it's what... Absolutely, yes. It's what Keyleth and Scanlan say when they talk about what... Like Rock was kidnapped with Dimension Door, which the voices that be said Scanlan recognized because he has that spell. I should have recognized that there's a size restriction to that spell, but hey... I'm only saying this for the third time or whatever.
Don't think about it too hard. Too hard. Don't think about it too hard. Too hard.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. What the fuck?
It's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
It's a Mobius
Also,
strip.
wow.
It's snake
Ever
since...
since...
Eats tail. It's the infinity sign. Get a tattoo of the infinity sign on your lower back. Just for yourself.
Don't take any of her advice right now.
No, this is crazy. These are Crazy Ex-Girlfriend lyrics that you're hearing. And also probably the outtakes.
Maybe. Also, I just want to note that I've started cursing a lot more ever since I had to click the explicit box on our RSS feed.
So now we get to
try to behave myself, but hey.
Well, now we're just gonna say fuck over and over again at each other.
Hot. Anywho.
Anyway.
Okay, so Pike figures out she has greater restoration now, so they don't even need to bother with basilisk blood anymore.
Yay! Which is good, because I think the whole point of they started talking about, like, Percy having to, like, use the basilisk blood somehow, and, like, they were talking about several roles where, like, Percy would have to find a way to, like, rejuice up the old dried basilisk blood, and then somebody else would have to make a medicine check to use it.
Some sort of magical treatment and infusion for it. Like, this is like an issue at low level, but if you just have greater restoration...
the chicken noodle soup of...
maybe, but I feel like it's more like lesser restoration, because, like...
Anyone has restoration and it does nothing.
That is true. Lesser restoration never does anything.
Yeah, let me solve this for you. If you have lesser restoration and you have a problem, it won't help. It won't help if you have if you haven't solved it already with something else. Lesser restoration won't do anything.
It can make you feel good about yourself. You're totally contributing something to this problem, but you probably aren't. Greater restoration, though. Now we're talking.
Yeah. That's like a rabies vaccine. That'll fuck you up. That'll fuck you up, and that'll fix you up.
It can get your demons out of your weapons. It can get rid of almost everything that isn't a curse.
It can get your soul back from a sword.
It could have cured COVID like 2 years ago. But alas.
So, they have to drag two statues.
They drag two statues there before they get a greater restoration. The music is still in urgency, and then also They roll for stealth, which is the first time we try to think about Vax's foot.
And the last time we'll think about Vex's foot.
Not quite, but close. Like, he is unsure what you can do with a partially melted foot, which, like, nothing. You can do nothing with a foot that was partially melted in lava. You are dead. We've gone over this.
You can make a very weird soup.
Ha! Yes. That may or may not unlock time travel. We don't know yet. We haven't tried. So with like a melted foot, you should realistically be writhing on the ground, screaming, or passed out from the pain or shock from your system, or the lava fumes. None of which are ideal conditions to stealth under, but yeah, sure, disadvantage that's cancelled out by your cloak.
Fair. I mean, it was a discussion about, like, I think in the end he did have to roll with disadvantage because they had a whole argument about, like, oh, but the foot, oh, but the cloak, and then Matt's like,
at
okay,
but
point, the foot and the cloak and the thing.
Foot, the cloak, the statue, it's you rolling with disadvantage, which doesn't really matter. Does he have reliable talent yet? That's a level 10 thing, right? Doesn't matter.
I don't think he has it. I think he could have had it, but I don't think he has it yet.
Yeah. So, at this point, he does have to roll with disadvantage. Later on, he's like, oh, but I have a cloak. You have 3 toes and a stub.
And a statue that you're dragging.
Yeah. Friendly reminder that we probably tagged this with body horror for several reasons.
Yes.
Yes.
Foot-related reasons.
Not just foot-related, but also foot-related.
So anyway.
Yeah!
They
chicken noodle soup them out of petrification, and Orion is very reluctant to let the weird Scottish accent go.
Or the yelling go. Thankfully it's not as bad this time, but like, it's grating.
Yeah, so flip. Then they sort of debate whether they have to unpetrify Kima.
You have to unpetrify Kima, guys. I cannot stress this enough how much you are here for Kima. And also,
this is your quest objective. This is your, not even an escort mission. She is like the bestest person to have an escort mission with, because at least she can defend herself.
Yes, and also, you know what also? Would you prefer to take her all the way as a statue?
Without the bag of holding.
Without the bag of holding, which they don't have. At some point, Tiberius tries to get the... Oh, that's later. Sorry, I'm skipping.
That's way later, but yeah.
I'll talk about it when it happens. Clarota says, hey, let's leave her behind, and then... No.
This is why you're here.
So Pike goes ahead and unpetrifies Kima.
Yes, who is mid-swing and hits her on the shield and immediately apologizes.
Yeah, I think this is sort of when, like, I think Kima kind of starts to defrost a little bit to the party, even though she very much has every reason to be upset at them.
Oh yeah, we are about to get into that, huh?
Yep. But, like, she kind of hits Pike with her mace, and then, like, it bounces off her shield, but, like, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and, like, she's very reasonable about everything.
Yes, they then try to get back to the whole, oh god, Grog is missing, and work out, okay, so but we need to rest, but can we, like, half rest and get half our spell slots back, or does a short rest do anything for us? No. Unless you are, what... Warlocks get, like, stuff back on short rests, right?
Yeah, warlocks and some type, I think maybe druids get some wild shapes back.
Right, do sorcerers even get sorcery points back on a short rest?
I do not know.
I mean, later on he will insist on having them for his sorcery points, but...
refuse to play sorcerers on principle.
You shouldn't, they're fun.
I know they're fun, but there's just so much. There's so many spells. There's so much.
No, sorcerers don't have many spells, dear.
There's sorcery points. There's meta magic.
Yeah, you get like 2 functions of those. You have to remember 2 things you might be able to do with your 3 points or something.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. It's too much.
I don't think like,
my tiny
playing a sorcerer isn't fun. It's not that much. It's not at all harder than playing a bard. And I've played both.
No, playing a bard is easy.
So is playing a sorcerer. Sorcerers, I think, are easier than wizards because wizards are the ones that actually have all this long rest. Yes, Sorcery points, according to the key rules, Player's Handbook, page 101. You regain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. So no, as in actual D&D, a short rest can help you heal up, but otherwise does nothing for you.
Yeah. Not
Anyways, I
very
need a long
much.
rest.
Not unless you're very injured. I think a short rest is just, I'm very injured.
Yeah, to regain hit points, that's fine, but you don't. That's like. And hit points are important, don't get me wrong, but that's literally the only thing they do unless you're a warlock.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Anyway.
okay. Yeah, so they figure out, okay, Vex had cast Hunter's Mark on the Queen, and she knows she's in the area. So, and she will know that for the next 7.5 hours.
Yeah, 7.5, and they can sleep for 7 hours.
They can. Alright, so they're confused about how resting works. Nothing but a long rest works for you, as we have established. Keyleth is kind of the only one who really wants to go for grog right now, which is a bad idea.
Yeah. It's not a great idea, but I guess it makes my little Groglith heart swell a little bit.
My little Grogleth heart is very, very happy. Speaking of which, she can also now turn into an elemental, which is big sexy.
Big sexy.
If you want to know how her being able to turn into an elemental, specifically an earth elemental, and our little Grogleth hearts are correlated, we might publish our scale. If we get patrons, like 5 or so.
Yeah. It's a high level
That's
patience, guys.
Oh yeah, we want 5 of you to pay us money for that information.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to dig through stone in a lava prone area.
Yeah, her idea was to tunnel upwards to find grog in earth elemental form, which
Not the best call. Could be.
uncontrollably tunneling upwards in an area that is currently already kind of flooding with lava. No.
I wonder if Keyleth will ever have an encounter again that is very similar to this.
Oh dear. Yeah, Kima finally makes them voices her interest in resting and helping Grog later. Like, they can keep track of him, and the queen is also messed up, so just rest. So
Just
they
rest.
rest. And then Liam hoists his foot upon the table, which Laura is visibly repulsed by.
I would be too.
Yeah. Though the soles of his shoe are remarkably clean.
Yeah, what are you doing with those shoes? Send us your shoe cleaning tutorial, Liam.
Apparently nothing. LA just has very clean ground. That sounds very wrong.
That sounds wrong.
There's not even any pollen or anything on there, which should be in April.
He asks. Pike, I believe, if her god can help with his little toe. Which I'm sorry, Vax. That is not your little toe that's melted. You do not have to worry about your little toe.
I mean, the little toe is melted, but also the toe next to that.
And the toe next to that. And the toe next to that.
No, I think it's just like, I think they specify later on that it's like 2 toes melted, and the second to last one gets like a little nub bag. After like a very, very involved healing ritual that involves like Pike casting a spell, Keyleth lighting some sage, and Scanlan singing a song.
Which is definitely going in our uncomfortable section. Please stop burning sage if you're white.
What?
Don't burn sage.
Can you explain that to me?
Well, number one is that white people do smudging, which is like not a thing that they can do.
What is smudging?
It's when you like light a bundle of sage. It's like a native. It's an indigenous ritual. Well, it's like a simulacrum of an indigenous practice.
Okay.
Where you cleanse an area by burning sage. Well, typically white sage, which it's not doing super great due to over harvesting by white people.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I have never heard of this.
She doesn't actually burn sage, but you know, it's just a bit of a white person thing.
It's either not over here or it's very much over here in a way that, like, I mean, we've had sage before we knew America existed, I think. I'm not really sure about the customs around burning it. It's just like in the Scarborough Fair song, it's supposed to be part of an abortificant? Whatever. Okay, so apparently don't burn sage.
Or at least don't.
I learned.
Yeah, there's. Just make sure you're burning sage in a way that's appropriate to your background.
Huh. Okay. I learned something today, and maybe so did you. Moving on, in a very pleasant exchange, Liam asks if he can apply his luck feat to this, and Laura says you don't have any feet left.
He draws like a nubby little toe.
Who's stubby now?
Does it ever occur to you that we're basically the Statler and Waldorf of Critical Role?
What?
You know those Muppets?
I know who they are. Do you mean us?
Yes. We're just standing off stage of Critical Role making jokes.
You are not wrong. Huh. I'm having a moment of self-reflection right now.
Anyway, while you're having that moment of self-reflection, should just know that they can see Pike's deity in his toenail.
Funny that his little toe, like this, his second to little toe, grew back into a nub, but has a toenail.
Apparently. They still don't trust Kima.
Yeah, like Scanlan asks her if she's going to hit Clarota while they're all asleep, and Kima is like, not unless Clarota hits first.
Which, fair.
Yeah, then she's like very thankful about being rescued and all, and then Orion still as Durga god, well Tiberius still as Durga god, with weird accent is asking her to put in a good word for him with Allura, which is very awkward.
I hate this. I hate this. And then Vax starts shipping.
Yeah, Vax suggests that Kima and Clarota take the first watch. To which Scanlan is like, oh my god, what if they start fucking? So is the chat. The chat has been there since
How would that even work?
2 episodes ago.
How would that even work, Sam?
I've seen that fan fiction. Look, Clarota has tentacles, okay? Even if we don't know anything more about his anatomical situation, you can do a lot with tentacles.
They reproduce asexually.
You can do a lot with tentacles.
I don't think he would be interested in doing things with tentacles.
I don't think Kima would be interested in any of this either, but you were questioning the logistical aspects.
Okay. I dislike everything about this. Just is gross. I don't like this. Can we go home, Jana? I don't like it here.
We can go on to the totally not scripted, very reasonable argument that happens after this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's yeah. It is what it is. Like, okay, so there's like an exchange that happens after this between Keyleth and Kima, and while watching this and trying to understand what is even happening, I came up with a conspiracy theory that Marisha was just providing Matt with an opportunity to read out his monologue, which he does.
I don't think that's how it happened, just because if that were the case, why does Marisha keep doing it?
Okay, so in this instance, Kima starts like telling them a story. Oh, wait, first of all, something I want to really, really point out is that when Clarota is assigned guard duty and to get along with Kima, he just invisibles out of his social situation, which like, here you go, Clarota, I feel you. Mood. Then Kima tells them about her history with Allura and how they took down the Scourged Rider. Sounds like a thing I just made in Persona 5, and very little like Thordak, but Scorched is in there.
Scorched is in there.
I think I misspelled it in the notes. That would be the Scorched with the CH, not the Scorched in the OURGE.
The important thing is that Kima and Allura have known each other for 15 years.
They are very good friends.
They're close. They're gal
They're
pals.
so close, you guys. Gal pals.
They're handmaiden and feudal lord, if you will.
And also friends of Mara.
Dropping all the euphemisms.
The thing is, I'm not even sure whether that is canon yet, because as we've discussed before, like I think Kima is the first iteration of an NPC that wasn't made to be available to the party.
I
You know
agree
what
with
I mean?
I agree.
So like by now we know that Kima is very much a lesbian and in a relationship with Allura, and like that had been like a thing before and after.
Yes.
But like it appears to me that Allura and Tiberius are still on the table, and it appears to me that Kima flirts at least a little bit with Grog. So the boundaries there weren't quite as set in stone, I don't think.
I don't know if Kima flirts back with Grog.
I seem to remember something. We'll keep an eye out for it.
We'll keep an eye out for it.
Yes. So, oh yeah, also there's an amazing moment where Kima is like, yeah, Laura got into politics, I went to smashing things, and Tiberius goes, oh, I did the same thing, and then tells his life story to her,
No, you didn't,
and
Tiberius.
Kima just has like her... and Kima's eyes just like glaze over, and she just has no time for his bullshit.
She has like a customer service smile on. It's like, yeah.
Look, she's had the customer service smile on ever since she reluctantly agreed to team up with Clarota, okay? This is Kima at her most customer service.
Bless Kima for suffering through this. She also then...
Or not.
Then Scanlan calls himself a Kingslayer.
Yeah, she asks who took down the Durgar King. Scanlan is like, oh, that was just me, the Kingslayer, which is he's going to keep up for ever. And Keyleth is notably fine with that, or doesn't take any offense to Scanlan calling himself a Kingslayer or anything, or with any other of the murder they have ever done. Kima then goes into describing how she was tortured by this king specifically, and then Keyleth goes off on her about don't congratulate us for being murderers.
Keyleth!
Yeah.
Keyleth! This is not the... Keyleth!
And then they have like...
The problem with Keyleth is that I quite like Keyleth.
I do too, but...
So when she gets on my nerves, I don't feel like I'm watching just somebody be annoying. I'm feeling I'm watching my friend do something that's kind of a dick move, and I'm like, Keyleth!
This isn't like you.
Keyleth, do you need like, can I help you? Do we need to go outside and, like, get some fresh air? Because, like, you're being really inappropriate right now.
I mean, fresh air would probably do all of them a lot of good right now. They've been down here for a while.
Even in here, breathing in lava fumes.
Yeah.
They haven't seen the sun. And their circadian rhythms are all fucked.
And we get, like, later we get hints about Keyleth just having issues with religion, but that's not what this conversation is about. Keyleth just tries to find something objectionable that is barely there in everything Kima says and is very aggressive about it.
Yeah, Kima's just like, hey, I got tortured by that dude that you killed. And
so now it's good that we killed him? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Keyleth, it's good. It's good that you killed him.
It's good. You didn't seem to have a moral objection to killing his underlings, which probably have a less of a say in what they do here than their literal king.
You didn't have a problem with killing him.
In so many things.
You were fine with killing him. You were a scorpion at the time.
Scanlan celebrating his murder of this king. Fine. By the way, not murder in the legal sense. You didn't take issue with that. You took issue in Kima approving of it.
Well, specifically talking about the way that he specifically tortured her.
Very specifically tortured her and killed all of her companions.
So, like, not the time, Keyleth.
Not the time, which is, by the way, almost verbatim what the twins and Percy say to try and get her to stop doing that.
Yeah, there's battle music throughout, and it's just like, are we fighting Kima? Is Kima fighting Keyleth? Is Keyleth the final boss? I don't understand.
To quote Vex, she has PTSD. Why are you poking the badger?
Kima is a little badger.
She is. She's like, she's a honey badger.
Mm-hmm. We need an Allura here to just sort of pick her up and put her under her arm and then complain about how heavy she is.
I don't think Allura could even lift her.
No.
Yeah. Percy says something very deep and profound that we should keep in mind for everyone, especially him always, which is that grief speaks before sense.
It almost feels weird that he's the one saying this.
He's a lot better at sorting this out when it's not his grief that is yelling very loudly, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot like Percy is just like walking on screen and saying like, you know, guns are dangerous and you shouldn't do them. You shouldn't use them without being trained and having the proper credentials and in a correct and safe way.
But I invented all of these things without being any of these things, so
yes,
I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like you shouldn't say the quiet part out loud, Percy.
Percy. Sometimes he's wise beyond his years. Sometimes he is very much not wise.
No, we love him. He's an idiot.
We love him so much, yes. And then I was just ready to be on Kima's side, and then she calls Keyleth child, but the next time addressing her, like,
oopsie-daisy, that's her thing.
Oh boy, it's going to be her thing, and maybe Kima started it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, so angry, ragey Keyleth can be amazing.
It can
and very hot, by the way. Not here.
Call me child one more goddamn time.
Yeah, that is a very hot moment. That and Grok deciding that Keyleth is the most dangerous thing in this room right now is,
It's good. It's good shit.
The greener pastures that we will get to in like 3 years. Everybody take a sip and stay hydrated.
Yeah, but when we get to Keyleth projecting that rage at a torture victim, not so much.
Yeah!
Not so much.
Maybe don't.
Maybe not this time, Keyleth.
Like, yeah. I mean, there are some sort of theological points they keep talking about, which tickle at the actual issue Keyleth has with godly vision quests and religious people.
Yeah, I also think this is a misunderstanding. This is a genuine and like completely honest misunderstanding on Keyleth's part because she doesn't have Kima's role in the Church of Bahamut yet, because they haven't really met anyone.
Yeah.
Which is like, Keyleth thinks and has every reason to think that Kima is like the baseline for Bahamut paladins, and not that Kima is, you know, the loose cannon.
She's the outlier that needs to be reined in.
Yeah, she's the one who's like fighting against all like the bureaucratic bullshit of it. Like she's on the closest to your side on anyone in that church, Keyleth. And in the future, she'll understand this a little bit better.
Yeah, later they're all into it. Right now, it's a little bit tense.
Mm-hmm.
And Keyleth is very bad at communicating her issues with religion here. Gets better. Is like as close as next episode, I believe. I have next episode jotted down as the first official backslot moment.
Yeah.
Well, she gave him a heart last time. Yeah, anyways. So, okay. But the thing is, they have Kima and Keyleth here are having something that over in Unabashed Book Snobbery, we have dubbed a non-versation.
Where both people are just saying things and nobody is listening.
They might be very good, true, or fun things, but they're not really saying those to each other or in reaction to each other. I mean, Kima is trying, Keyleth, which got me to this conspiracy theory because Matt has very much a monologue prepared to read out for this, which he then does read out.
He does.
Something I don't think he has done in a while. No, that's like
unless
that
he's
style of role-playing
very...
NPCs has like...
Unless he's gotten very good at hiding them.
Oh yeah, maybe that too. Maybe he just learns them by heart before sessions now.
Yes, he just sits there in front of the mirror at home while Mersh out and recites them.
Yeah. This is why I kind of think this was a situation provoked so he could deliver this monologue.
It's
in which
possible.
Kima basically gives you like the quest blurb nobody ever reads because the objective is listed at the bottom. What?
No, it's
I'm
fine.
right.
No, it's fine. This is why I don't play a lot of RPGs. Because I'm one of those people who has to read it. And I just get aggravated by how much content I just have to read, and it's like, God, there's so much I need to read, and I need to read all of it.
Yeah, you don't actually. You just scroll to the bottom and then the objective is listed there. And if you have any questions, you can read the text.
But
that's the trick to getting through RPGs.
But why is it there if you're not supposed to read it?
I have a little person we've talked about excessively today already in my head saying nobody reads lore.
But I read lore.
You would get along great with Hello Future me.
Anyway,
you can't get over that one time.
No, I think that like my image of something that you've said, like in terms of like how they would have pre-planned this, is probably more in the sense of like Matt telling Marisha if she has the chance to at some point pick a fight, she should pick a fight, but not telling her what to pick a fight about.
And so Marisha made notes about what can I fight about with a paladin.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I can believe more so than them having the entire thing scripted, just because it's so very much like non-function. Like it's not. These people are not. They're not having the same arguments.
If this was written, it was very badly written.
Exactly. So it feels more to me like maybe they talked at some point about having an argument and not talked about when or how.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the most realistic approach to this. Anyway, Kima tells them about her vision and Orcus and one horn, two horn, red horn, blue horn, whatever. They have to find Horn of Orcus because bad.
Yes.
That's the quest objective. Horn of Orcus currently on horned thing they haven't identified yet.
Yes, they don't know this yet.
It's currently Kavarn's party hat. Okay. So they sleep.
So they sleep.
Nobody fucks Clarota, presumably.
Hopefully.
I mean, if they're both into that, why not? Kima isn't, though. Yeah, spell slots get restored, spells come back, spells can be chosen for the next day, everyone is healed up, everyone is fine, fresh and chipper to go find Grog, and Vex's mark is running out, and Grog is getting away.
So they need to move fast.
Yeah. Something that still makes me like a little nervous is when Keyleth is the one to cast Pass Without a Trace on them, because she can use her spell slot for so many better, more important things, and Vex's spell slots are right there.
They're right there. She doesn't even get to use them in combat this time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, because, like, most of the ranger spells for combat are, like, just scattering fire, and when you don't want to hit your allies
you kind of
who are in melee with the thing you want to hit, it's not a good time.
No.
Not a good time when you care about friendly fire. Yeah, which you should as a good teammate.
You should, and Nux does. Because her bear is there.
That too.
If she'd have cared as much if her bear was not there, she probably wouldn't have shot her brother or Percy.
I think she deliberately hit Grog last session or something.
Grog can take it.
Of Vex. Like, Grog can take it, Vex can dodge it, everyone else not so much.
Yeah. But Vex's main priority is her little baby boy.
Yes, little baby boy of many hundreds of pounds.
Yes, which is a matter of discussion in this episode.
That's why we mentioned it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we stand her for it.
We do.
They make plans to come back here, which, like, no. No,
Sweet summer children. I'm a fan of planning for the way home, but your way home is not going to lead past here. And, for the better.
Yes. Maybe you shouldn't stop by the lava river again, if you can.
Maybe. It's, kind of cute. Then they bring up the issue of food, because Trinket rolls a 1 and Vex is like, on stealth, and Vex is like, I haven't fed him today, and then Sam is like, have any of us eaten?
Or pooped.
And Matt claims...
Or, defecated, gone to the bathroom.
Tiberius pooped. He mentioned it.
Yeah.
He buried it also.
We know Liam's characters pee.
Does Vax ever pee, or is this just a recent development?
I think it's a recent development.
Yeah. I mean, we know Scanlan pooped last episode. Yeah. Yay. So now we have to add scat to the trigger warnings. Congratulations. Yay. Why did you bring it up?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done this.
Anyways, Matt says he doesn't want to bog them down with having to describe what they eat every time, but I want this information.
I do. I care about this information. I want to know about exactly what they've eaten and how.
Yes, how they prepared it. Is there someone cook at their campfires?
Who's the one who cooks usually? Is it Keyleth? Is it?
I don't think so.
Is it Grog? I feel like Grog is a good cook, but he's not here right now.
Huh. I mean, Grog would be the most generally accustomed to cooking meals rudely prepared on the road, but like...
Yeah, and he's the one who cares about eating the most, so I feel like he'd be a good, like, he could probably, like, roast a nice ham.
Probably.
He's the most particular about his meals, which means he likes ale and meat, which is more than you can say about most of the party.
Huh. I mean, the twins and Keyleth and Percy probably wouldn't be raised in a way where they cook their own food, huh?
Probably not. I think Vex is probably likely to cook her own food, but, like, not in, like, an elaborate way. She probably knows how to, like, truss up game.
Yeah, I mean, they can probably just prepare a game on the road, prepare a meal on the road. All of them should be able to do that by now.
Yeah, and Keyleth has a distinct advantage of being able to turn into a wild animal and just eating something raw.
Huh. I hope that works for her. I mean, she can also just create food and water.
That's true, but she's not a
So
vegetarian.
Pike...
It's important to remember.
She jokes about this sometimes, but she's technically not.
Nope.
But I think out of all of them to have cooking skills, it would be like Pike, probably.
Mm-hmm. Pike could probably cook. Pike could probably bake, but not like... If I remember anything from the Slayer's cake, which I always think should be the Slayer's bake, but the Slayer's cake, Pike can bake, but not particularly well.
Yeah. Scanlan might be able to cook too.
Maybe. He was raised by his mom.
He was, and I think it's a skill he would pick up to impress potential partners with.
That's true.
It seems like he's very much the guy to enroll in a cooking class in the hopes of not meeting, but hooking up with every other participant in there.
Oh god, this might have to go in the outtakes. Did I tell you about the story with the cooking? The brownie story?
Did I tell you that I dated my first ex-boyfriend because his sister makes amazing brownies?
You did not tell me this, but the thing that I'm thinking about...
It's not technically true, but he brought his sister's brownies to class with him a week before he started dating, so I think those are related. Anyway, related. You go on.
If this goes on the outtakes because it is a little bit too much, we'll decide, but if not, hi, the people involved. I hope you never hear this. At some point in undergrad, I took a class called Anthropology of Cooking.
I know this about you.
And I had a little friend group, communicated, and at some point one of the people in the friend group wanted to show off the brownies she'd made, but she had been drunk at the time and also naked.
While making the brownies or by wanting to show them off?
Both.
This is a sustained drunk nude situation.
Yes, a sustained drunk nude situation. So she took a picture, not knowing that her boyfriend was in front of her, technically, I think. Well, actually, yeah, behind her, because she was facing the refrigerator. And in the reflection of the refrigerator, there was very much her boyfriend in his entirety.
So they were both nude baking.
They were both nude drunk baking. And that's how she sent the entire friend group a dick pic.
Wow, some people actually do college right, huh?
Yeah, some people do college right, and they drunk naked bake, which sounds so dangerous to me. They drunk and naked bake brownies, which is also very dangerous because brownies, sometimes when you take them out of the oven, they're still melty and liquidy.
That's when they're good.
Yeah, that's why they're good, but that means I could spill on everything.
Why can we, well... Would you want to
naked bake? Absolutely not. I'm not gonna drunk naked bake with you. Nobody should drunk naked bake.
Taking that off the bucket list, thanks.
As you were saying.
Minutia of eating food, we want this information, we're fine, moving on.
Tentacle tracks.
Yes, Vex goes tracking and finds tracks of a be-tentacled mass. And then she has a very cute moment with Percy where they come up with the name Stitch Monster, and they're very proud of it.
It is kind of cute.
Very cute.
They're so cute.
Yeah, they then reach the eponymous Pit of Glass and Bone, which gives all of them bad vibes immediately.
It also is the reason why this episode is named after like a YA novel.
Yes. Yeah, this is like one of the most edgy titles they have, huh?
Glass and Bone. All it needs is like a kingdom of glass and bone.
Technically, City of
A city of glass and bone
is. I think those are the Cassandra Clare novels.
It's possible.
I listened like to the first one, and then the second one she started making out with her best friend, and I was like, nope.
Nope.
Nope. I mean, it wasn't very good in the first to begin with, so hey. But that's how I learned the word pandemonium.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway.
Laura Vex is asked if there are any critters crawling around in that pit, which is a very fun line and reminds us all that the word critters hadn't been coined yet.
Yeah. It's comes much later.
Yeah, so what they are faced with is like a giant chasm with like crushed bones and glass at the bottom of it that goes up very high, and they don't want to step on it, so they try to figure out a solution without the flying carpet, which is with Grog.
They discuss the idea of making snowshoes, which we'll come back to later.
Yes. And then, like, Keyleth and Tiberius kind of build a people mover, just like a very thin, stone slab that everybody can stand on and be hovered to the other side on.
Which is why we talk about how much Trinket weighs.
Yes, because apparently the entire party can get on there, but Trinket would be over the weight limit for the spell.
He's a big guy. He's a big fella. I don't actually know if he counts as a grizzly bear or if he's just like a European brown bear.
I don't know that either. He's just big bear and also brown.
He's a big bear. He's a big boy. He's very well loved. And you can use him as a pillow.
Yes.
He's big,
or you can turn him into a kitten.
Or you can turn him into a very cute kitten. A little Persian kitten.
Yes. That is then hilariously stuffed into Vex's cleavage.
Yeah. I should be more like, I should have problems with the scene of like Vex's cleavage being a thing, but like Laura incites it. It's cute. It's fun.
There is some talk about Vex's cleavage throughout the entire campaign. At points, it's fun.
Yeah, in this episode
fine.
It's also funny because there's a thing that comes later where like, with the cleavage. Should I mention it now or later?
I don't think I called it out specifically, and later we're going to be talking about hit points. So yeah, at some point, after taking some damage, Trinket, now a bear again, explodes out of her titties, which she comments on like an anime character whose clothes just exploded. Which she may or may not have voiced before. She probably has.
She probably has.
Did Texas make the weird porn dubs for anime? I don't know. I don't care to find out.
Yeah. That's for Laura Bailey to know.
Yes, that's between Laura Bailey and those of you who would actually have that information.
Yes, don't tell us.
We are not trying to shame, but you still know who you are.
Yes. And this is where Pike's religious symbol gets a hairline fracture.
I mean, it had that. She just discovers it here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like part of what we discussed last time, how some of her actions upset Sarenrae because they're not quite chaotic good of her, are they?
Not quite.
Well, there's a hairline fracture on an iron symbol that Tiberius then manages to miss everything personal arc related about this and tries to use one of his tricks with a mending wheel that is not on his person to solve this with.
Which he's essentially going to do, not literally, but in theory, with Percy's whole arc.
He attempts to do this, yes.
Yeah, so this is a running theme with Tiberius. It also doesn't work because, like, he tries to tell Matt that, like, he would have the mending wheel on him, and, like, Matt's like, no, you won't, dude. It's a mending wheel. It's big.
Yeah, so they discover that the mending wheel is actually big and with Grog right now, and then Pike very wisely says this isn't going to be solved with a mending wheel, which, yes, very much not.
Yeah, I also always wonder with the mending wheel of like, doesn't it just do the same thing as the cantrip mending?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember this thing actually mending something. I only remember when it doesn't, which is carpet related and later.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this wheel is kind of pointless.
Yeah, it's like his weird fetch background quest thing that we do not have to care about.
Yay!
Whoa! Okay, so the People Mover takes off, everyone's on it. It goes well until it doesn't. And
Yes.
then we enter this episode's fight scene, which I found less grating than last episode.
This one's at least a little fun.
Yeah, there's like fun environmental aspects to it.
There's fun environmental aspects. The enemy's a little bit more interesting, that it's one enemy as opposed to many.
Yeah, like they find the be-tentacled monster that is also like part elf, like person. And so fucking terrifying that one of the Dorgars, apparently escorting it, tries to get on the People Mover and get the hell away from there with them, which is kinda terrifying.
Yeah.
And then the twins chuck him off into the pit of bones
Which is,
that are apparently eating people.
questionable morally.
Not very chaotic good of them, is it?
This isn't very punk rock of you, is it?
So that's not very Paragon.
Sorry. Yes, not very Paragon.
Your answer is Renegade for life, bitches, but you haven't seen the show. Or played the game.
Or played the game.
Anyways. Yeah, so fight scene ensues.
Yeah.
The People Mover gets taken out of the air. They have to navigate the bones that are trying to suck them in.
I have to straddle a stalactite to try to fight it.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, Keyleth makes like a donut dance floor.
Yeah.
Donut-shaped dance floor that they have to navigate around. Scanlan does something really cool and blinds the creature, making it kind of useless for the first half of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley has one of the best sentences to describe having a very low initiative ever, which is like, I'm not happening for a while.
Yeah, that is really good. I wish I could just...
yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah, I wish I could just have that on a t-shirt. I'm not happening for a while.
Yep. It's a very useful statement in many a situation, especially this one.
Yes. Keyleth... No, Pike is... sorry? Kima is doing a whole lot of damage.
Oh yeah, no, she like hits the thing, which has healing factor and is not very affected by the damage I do to it. But Kima does this, she consistently hits the thing, she sometimes struggles with the bones trying to suck her in, and she at one point gets grabbed and taken away by the monster the Stitch monster they're fighting. And Marisha is just like, don't be stupid, Kima, she's been useless this fight. It's like, oh boy.
Under what circumstances has she not been useful?
She is hitting the thing. It's what everyone else is also doing. She crits it a few times. She does big numbers damage because paladins are awesome like that.
Yes. At some point, Trinket Kitten, as we've already said. Trinken? Kinket?
You're skipping in the... Yeah.
I'm skipping?
You're skipping the thing that causes us to not like the episode.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Scanlan, calls one of their opponents a girl or something to demean it, and oh, how could you?
I remember
we made fun of this in the opening. I know this was over an hour ago, but
I thought it came earlier.
But yeah, he does this, and then Laura and Ashley are like, why would this be demeaning? And then, so then Sam goes on to comment on this was a turn made by an awesome strong independent woman who don't need no man, because that's where we were at in 2015, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know, it makes me sad to think that, because Laura and Marisha are genuinely... This makes me uncomfortable for multiple reasons, because Marisha and Laura pointed out, a genuine... They weren't doing, a girl power thing. It is genuinely...
Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley, sorry. I keep forgetting that Ashley's here.
We've been talking about her.
I know. Anyway, the girls have mentioned something that is like genuinely uncomfortable, and maybe
Yeah, it's stupid.
it's stupid.
But the way you like, okay, so these whole girl bossified feminism buzzwords. This was at a time where the term girl boss wasn't even coined the way it is now. We were still in doing that unironically, still in the strong independent woman phase of the discourse.
Yeah, this is all the single ladies' time.
Oh god, yes. This is the time, or shortly after the time, where every episode of cartoons or whatever with a mixed cast would have the one girl power episode.
Yeah, or the one girl versus boys episode where the boys have to learn that girls are
Oh,
equal.
yeah. Which, like,
If you have to learn that the girls are equal, are they equal?
yeah, we were just riding out the third wave feminism, I suppose. Just riding it to death. Singing Madonna to show how empowered we are.
Riding it to death.
Ugh.
But yeah, I do genuinely. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with these jokes for multiple reasons. Number one is like the 2015 girl power feminism thing, but another one
As
because
understood by men, yes.
as understood by men. I also hate it like when you rightfully correct someone and they make such a big deal about it.
Yeah, that's not how you take criticism.
No. And like it's fine, it's lighthearted the jokes that come afterwards, but like it is kind of frustrating that like Sam gets corrected for saying something. Also that only Sam gets corrected for saying something when like again, pussy comment. But just like that just becomes a
Yes.
thing that he keeps pointing out later and later, like that's a statement made by a strong independent woman.
Yeah.
It's just like
And
just say you fucked up and move on.
yes. Don't, like, we know you love women, it's part of the problem.
You love women too much a little bit.
Too much in the way that isn't helping here. Yes, so, and especially because this is like a show that is so beyond the girl power kind of episodes.
Yeah.
Because, like, if something is just equal, if something is just, like, normal, you don't have to make a special episode about it, do you?
No.
You don't have to make a special episode to point out that all the girls are equal to the boys, when the girls are always on equal footing with the boys.
Yep.
Which is why the feminism episode of Avatar fails and every other episode doesn't.
Yep.
Especially after 12 Jones because Katara is just very much the mom friend. Anyways.
Anyway, what were we talking about before we went off on this?
This is basically like the key point of this episode that I feel like we can talk about.
Yeah, it's not.
It's our lane.
It's our lane. It's not great.
It is very 2015.
It's very 2015, just like gushing about Joss Whedon is very 2015. By which I mean
Hey, those are related! Amazing!
By which I mean that they both feel very 1990, like 99.
Progressive
maybe.
in the 90s.
Yes.
Progressive in the 90s, aged poorly ever since. Yes, okay, so fight, fight, fight. Now we can talk about Kitten and hit points.
Kitten and hit points.
Yes, so
Kitten. I can't. I still don't know what term we're going with. Is it Trinken?
Kit Kat?
Kit Kat?
Kitten Trinket, it's fine. It's only an occurrence per year. Like, we don't need to have a special term for it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so the abomination thingy does like a poison thing, and everybody takes damage, and after 5 points of damage, the kitten form is poofed, and Trinket is back and bursting out of Vex's cleavage.
Like an anime character. We've been over this.
Yes.
Very notable is that Kitten Trinket took 5 hit points to go unconscious, meaning that not to go unconscious, go back to bear shape, which means that kittens have 5 hit points.
A point of measurement that is used by Talis and Marisha to this day.
Yeah, and like you can see Taliesin and Marisha being like, okay, 5 hit points. We know now. A kitten has 5 hit points. Which is also
wrong.
Wrong. Incorrect.
Like, a kitten isn't as sturdy as a level 1 wizard. The level 1 wizard could very conceivably win a fight against a kitten.
A kitten can, like, get hurt sneezing the wrong way.
Yes. I mean, I've prepared myself for this episode and looked up the base beast stats in the player's handbook. That's why I had a lying here for the sorcery points, and found out that a grown-up cat has 1 hit point.
So a kitten has like a fourth of a hit point.
Yes, if you like, even if you don't hit the kitten, you kill the kitten.
Yeah, and I will say this about cats.
We have to check this with animal cruelty. God damn it.
God damn it. This is the thing that I'm familiar with cats, is that apparently, like, this is more of a healing thing than a hit points thing, but there's a joke among vets that, like, if you take all of the parts to make a cat and you put them in a room together, they'll make a cat. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to figure out if it makes sense or if it's just up to me. So, like, cats are built so sturdy that they can't be anything else but cats and you can't kill it? What?
Essentially, just like a cat, if given the opportunity to heal from something, will heal from, like, the most horrendous shit.
Ah, okay.
Like, a cat is basically, like, just designed in a very, like, will just fix itself no matter what. And, like, not no matter what, of course, but, like, it's just cats, if given, most of the times, if you give cats the right equipment to heal, they will heal. So, like,
Unlike horses.
unlike horses are not designed in this way. But this isn't the same as saying that cats have a lot of hit points.
No, if you put in a concentrated effort, this is getting dark.
This is getting dark.
This is getting very dark, and Trinket isn't even unconscious yet. Yeah, okay, so, a kitten should not have 5 hit points, though, as we all know, all of us only have 1 hit point.
Yeah, so stated by BDG.
Yes.
Brian David Gilbert, every living thing has 1 hit point.
Yes, because it's one of these really big shells of ammunition we can take before dying. So it's 1.
Yes.
We all have 1 hit point.
However, this means that now Trinket is unconscious in the skeletons.
Not quite yet, he takes some damage before that, like the thing actually hits him.
Mm-hmm.
But he is unconscious eventually, and even fails a death saving throw. Yeah, which makes Vex very upset, and like
it also makes the me very upset.
Yes, me too. And like Keyleth promises to save him, and Pike promises to save him. They don't actually heal him during this combat, though.
Yes.
Because why would you heal during combat if you can do grasping vines to pull Kima out of bones and complain about her being there in the first place?
Yeah, she's busy. She's got other stuff to do.
Yeah. At some point during this, like Matt, I think just mutters to himself, "What does Clarota want to do?" And then Taliesin, without missing a beat, is like, "Dance."
Taliesin is a little on fire this episode.
Taliesin's excellent this episode.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, Keyleth is not big on healing when she doesn't have to.
Indeed. Keyleth is still big on grasping vines, even though that's how she killed a kid before, which is why they make sure to point out that she's only grabbing people around the waist.
Good, she's learned something.
Yay.
Vex tells Percy to kill the monster, and he immediately rolls a natural 20.
And does kill it, yes. Very cute.
He's never told Vex no once in his entire life.
And he never will.
And he never will. She says, "Kill him, Percy," and he does.
Okay.
It's not arguable.
Why didn't you tell me so earlier?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to... Okay, I'll do that.
Sure.
Do you want anything else on the story while I'm out?
Yeah, so they defeat the thing, then they take the thing apart, and it's just... We haven't gone into detail how this is described, but it's like an elf, and it has tentacles, and it has teeth on his throat upon teeth, and then arms sticking. He's a body.
Bad.
Refer to the body horror thing.
I think this one is like probably the first like really, really bad body horror. I don't know entirely why. I think this is like just because it's so viscerally like a person.
Yeah, they find like people parts inside of the tentacle parts.
Yeah, it like very much feels like Matt describes it as like you can see like where the arms have been pushed in.
Yeah.
So it just feels very much like, oh, this is a person that had this happen to them.
Yeah.
So this is like the first like, oh, this is some real nasty body horror.
Yes, this is just very, very nasty.
Yes.
Proceed with caution.
So the party regroups. They heal Trinket up, because he's a very good boy.
Yes.
They examine the abomination, as we've stated, and they take a short rest, which does a little bit.
It heals. I'm not even sure whether they actually get to finish the short rest, because during it Vax scouts ahead with slight disadvantage because his foot is still partially melted.
Yes.
But with disadvantage he doesn't have to roll because he has a cloak.
Because he has a cloak. As
How
everybody
does...
knows, cloaks fix melted feet.
Yes, that is how cloaks work. That is what a cloak can do for you.
This is what a cloak can do for you. This is one of Vax's many magical cloaks. This one has the effect of mitigating your foot problems. Just so you know.
It's not just a cloak of elven kind, it's also a cloak of elven feet.
Oh, I think there's a website for that.
Oh, is it like an Ahegao equivalent? Just a cloak of elven feet?
Like those t-shirts that you see at conventions?
Yes, that's what that word means, yes. T-shirts, hoodies, bodysuits.
Oh no. Oh, it's in my brain now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's really good. So Vex goes ahead.
Yeah, finds like a Durga camp. They're eating something.
This is why we also need to warn for cannibalism.
Do we? They're not actually eating a person.
They're not, but Matt says that he thinks for a second that they are eating Grog.
Fine.
But they're not. They're not eating Grog.
Grog is just tied to a cart, and the queen comes out and tells him to torture him some more, just for shits and giggles, I suppose.
I don't know. She's got her interests. She's really into Wump, this queen.
She probably got up to that with her husband, huh?
Yep.
Who then took it out on Kima? Fascinating.
This is a weird family situation. I'm glad they don't have kids.
That we know of.
And that's where we finish the episode, with Grog about to be tortured again.
Vex basically tells them all Jenga without having the word Jenga yet, and that's when the very short episode, without a break even, is just done.
Oh right, this episode doesn't have a break. That is very weird.
Yeah, it doesn't have a break, and this chat room is still sending them food, by the way.
Yeah, they actually name all the people who bring them food at the end.
And also everyone who donated, just true Twitch streamer style.
Yes.
And also, Sam ends the episode by saying that he thinks that this episode was very empowering to female watchers. So, my dearest darling duck of my life, do you feel empowered by this?
Let me check.
Let me get my empowerment meter out.
Yeah, let me measure. Let me lick my finger and hang it up to the wind.
How, Girlboss, are you feeling right now?
Not very, I have to admit.
Wow.
How about you, my dear and beloved co-host?
Haha, you don't have a phrase for me.
I don't have a phrase for you, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I know you're technically not a duck. I mean, you are right now. You're still an anonymous duck in the Google Doc, but...
I'm a duck as far as our audience knows.
You introduce yourself as a goose on the internet. That's the difference.
I am a goose on the internet.
A difference I'm aware of. I'm just making fun of it. Just in case anybody felt bothered by me calling her a duck sometimes.
No, please, if you're going to write us an angry message about it, I feel like this is the thing to be angry about.
True, yes, please be upset about that.
Yeah. Don't send us any emails about how we talk about Liam or Vax, but do send us an email about how ducks and geese are not the same thing.
Yes, because I clearly do not know that.
Yeah.
To be fair, the goose you use usually looks very much like ducks around here, just bigger.
He does look like a goose. He does look like a duck. He is a goose. I'm kind of hungry now.
Hungry for more empowerment?
I mean, I do feel peckish. This wasn't a very satisfying meal.
Yeah, let's go and get into the Purvan Scale.
Alrighty.
Right. P is for pizzazz.
Marisha's hair looks very nice.
Marisha's hair looks very nice. It's the only thing of note.
Yeah. There's no break. I don't think it adds anything. It doesn't take anything away.
There's no break.
It's a low on pizzazz episode.
Yeah, it's just on the same scale as everything else so far. Nobody looks particularly good at bed besides Marisha's hair. It's fine. Like 1 point for the hair?
Yeah, 1 point for the hair.
Cool.
The second letter in Purvan is U for uncomfortableness.
Jolly gee, governor. What are we uncomfortable with here?
I don't know. I feel like I've been super comfortable this entire time with this 2015 era feminism.
I mean, to be fair, this was already outdated by 2015.
Yeah,
this
is outdated.
I mean,
this is aged.
At least in like
soured.
There's like a human centipede kind of way in which these things work, and that people who are very online know when it's outdated first, and then it makes its way, like, you know.
Yeah, to the back of the centipede.
Yeah, and I feel like grown-up adults with children and a career are very much towards the end of the centipede, so.
Yeah, but I feel like even like anyone could tell that this is like not genuine, and this kind of feels. I don't know.
Which, by the way, doesn't mean that we're calling Sam Riegel a violent, brutal, incapable of bettering himself misogynist.
No, we say that about him because of other things. We don't say it about him. He's not a violent misogynist. He's just a regular old-fashioned kind of a prick. He's not even that. He's just got some bad takes, and he doesn't know when to stop at a joke.
He does some sexisms with annoying frequency.
Yes.
Hasn't done so yet in the new campaign. That's nice.
That's nice. Maybe you should
focus on being. I haven't watched episode 5 yet.
Maybe you should focus on being a therapist.
And a robot.
I don't know. I feel like this. I was a little comfortable with this, but it's not the worst that it could possibly be.
Do you remember what we did last week? 2 weeks ago? What is time?
Yeah, I also feel like, because there's also the thing where, Percy says some uncomfortable stuff regarding,
yeah, he used an uncomfortable term to describe brothels?
Yes.
We skipped over how Scanlan didn't want to save Grog until Percy pointed out that he would be alone on his excursions.
Yes. So I'm leaning towards like a 2.5? Like a minus 2.5?
Sure, yes, that with combined with the brothel term and the sage burning you took issue with. Well,
so a minus
that
2.
Is. I was there with a 2.5.
No, I meant we're at a total minus 2.
No, at a total.
Oh yeah, no, because it was a +1.
Yeah.
Minus 9.5. Sorry, I know how to do math.
It's reverse math.
It's reverse math. What is the next
Okay,
letter?
yeah. R is for role-playing realness, which is, I think, the first time we have to subtract points for.
Really? Because of Keyleth?
Yeah. The Keyleth Kima non-versation argument thing.
I mean, yes, but I also want to add points because they were in character the whole time, and it feels like this time they were actually like their character. So I don't think it's as bad as it can be. Like, they felt invested in...
philosophical difference we have right there, because, like, bad role-playing is, like... I mean... Bad... What is bad?
Well, no,
what is good?
It's not... I'm not saying that, like, any roleplay is better than bad role... It's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that, in addition to this, there were also good roleplay moments.
Such as...
Hang on, I'm thinking. I don't know, I think the healing part was kind of fun. I think...
Okay.
Like, I did actually enjoy, Kima talking about the background. Even if it led to a weird argument.
Okay. Well, it was caused by a weird argument, whatever, okay.
So I don't think this is entirely... I do think we're subtracting points for this one. I just don't think we can subtract as much points as perhaps we should.
No, I wasn't going to subtract like a big number on this. Okay. Like, I'd even be willing to say that you'll enjoy enough moments to have it be like come out as a 0 or something.
Nah, I still want to give it like a minus.
Okay, so we're negative 2.5.
Yeah, because like the Keyleth stuff was really hard to stomach.
Yeah, it was. Like, we will be defending most of Keyleth's more commonly known cringe moments or cringy roleplay or whatever. We've done so already.
Yeah, we came to praise Keyleth, not bury her.
Yes, we enjoy her. Usually. Like,
Usually.
besides, right, in this episode and in, like, one pointed instance later on.
Yes. It's the fact that we enjoy her that makes us hurt.
Yeah. Especially knowing what happened with Marisha because of blaming it on moments like these. No, the blame lies with the audience and the people who do those things.
Yeah, and even if this hadn't happened, they would have found a big issue with.
Yes, of course. It's just that moments like these and all the times Matt is especially hard on her about rules for no good reason are water on their mills. That is a German saying, isn't it? Wind beneath their wings?
Yeah, water
Fodder
under the
for
bridge?
their cannons? I don't know. Not water under the bridge, no.
Battle fodder.
Cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
It's something these are the moments you stuff your Reddit threads about how Keyleth is the worst with.
It's adding fuel to the fire.
By pretending you actually have a reasonable argument here that isn't just, oh god, there's a woman at the table taking up space.
She's talking. Oh god, make her stop.
How dare she be talking in a way that isn't compliant and agreeable with the menfolk?
Yes. So -1?
Look at us doing a feminism now.
Yes.
Okay, so -2.5. Your turn.
2.5. The V in Purvan is vexiness, which we actually have a little bit of.
Yes, we do. There were like instances, like first, like Vex had a lot of moments because of Trinket's peril.
Yeah, actually, I think this episode just in general has like a lot of Vex in it, which I found was very fun. This might be why we actually enjoy this episode more than the last one.
Also because like the mood wasn't as deflated at the table, and Tiberius wasn't as much a center of attention.
Yeah, because he was a statue at the beginning. But in general, I found like Vex plays a pretty important part in tracking down Grog. She's around, she's visible, and she's fun.
She exists.
There's a Vex.
Yeah.
And there's also
usually her shining moments are when there's people to act upon. Not upon, but with, against, to. Yeah, okay, what do you want to give this?
I mean, in addition to the Vexness and also the few Persalia moments, I'm leaning towards like a 2.5.
Gotta squint to count those. Really?
Is that too high?
Yes.
Okay, 2?
I mean, I'm fine with 2.5. That means we're at a 0.
Yeah, you're right about like there's more. Like I'm worried that I'm so used to there not being any Vex at all that I'm overrating. I'm giving too high a score when
I think that's what's happening.
Yes, so I think maybe a 2.
A 1.5?
A 1.5.
So we're at -1.
Hey.
Oh. I feel like I'm being a downer here, but okay.
No. I think we're gonna have.
I can live with that.
Yeah, I think this next one is also going to be a positive score.
And like for the record, I feel like we need a lot of escalation room for the vexiness scale. Yes. So much escalation room.
Yeah, this one is going to. Christ. If we're not careful, this one is going to go way up. It's going to be a +10 by the end of this.
Don't spoil it, darling.
All right, do the next letter.
Yes, A is for action. Which, was nice. Was fun. There was some creative play with environment. The monster was properly terrifying. It was a real threat. Everyone used their abilities in an engaging way. It was cool. Yeah,
it didn't overstay its welcome. It was kind of fun. It had kind of a bait and switchy element to it.
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't completely significant for anything. Like, didn't have any really significant character moments in it besides the end of it. Which we covered in the last section. Like, this is an action scene that is very skippable if it's not your type.
Yeah.
But it's also perfectly enjoyable. Yep.
What are we thinking?
Oh god. I mean, if we have good things to say about it, we have to give it points, right?
Yes.
Like a 2?
Okay, I'm okay with the 2.
We're at +2. Bring it home.
The N Purvan stands for 9 cents. I feel like they can lose a point for this one.
For what specifically?
There's just some You know, I feel like 9 cents could also categorize what happened with Keyleth, where it says, like, you two are having a conversation that is not going anywhere.
Astute, yes, okay, I am with you on that.
Yeah, like, this conversation is you two are arguing about two different things. It is kind of grating to hear because we're not making any progress. It feels like
Oh
tangential.
God! Remember how
This
we had?
feels 9 cents.
Remember how we had a conversation exactly like this between Caleb and Bo every week for the first campaign for the first
Yeah, this is the
20,
definition of 9
30
cents.
episodes of the camp. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, you got me.
I think at least a minus point.
Okay, so we're at 1.
We are at 1.
We have access and equal. Yeah, okay. We're at a 1. This is a 1-point episode. Whoa!
Woo! It's not that bad. It's pretty good. I actually enjoyed this one for the most part.
If you can just ignore all of the of pseudo feminism bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, it's very watchable. It's very watchable, this episode. It's
Yeah.
short. It's
Yeah.
for the most part.
Don't
it's
pay
good.
too much attention to the argument.
Have
or
it in the
Scanlan.
background. Have it in the background while doing something else.
I actually made a stew while watching this for the first time.
There you go. I wrote commissions.
Whoa. Like, for the record, I have started to just watch something in the episode in the background to do something and then watch them by paying attention and writing the notes. That you, dearest listener, can get exclusive access to if you support us on our Patreon, where you will find...
What a smooth transition.
I know, right? It's why I got so
Smooth as
excited all of
butter.
a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can, like, where you can find, like, notes and outtakes and stuff there. You will have it, like, linked or googled up wherever you're watching this. It's accessible. Like, chances are, as our analytics tell us so far, because we have published episodes now, that you have found this by clicking on a link on Twitter or something, or maybe Tumblr. They are neck to neck right now. So there you will also find our Patreon information. Feel free to support us, get access to notes and outtakes and early access and stuff. Postcards or bonus episodes for all patrons, which we might have more of now. For now we have only recorded 1, but we've only published 1 episode. So time is a weird soup is what I'm saying.
Time is a weird soup.
Yes.
Thank you very much to Lulafia for her art.
Yes. Thank you, Lulafia. As always, you can find her as Lulafia on Tumblr and as at Turu on Twitter. Commission her for all of her art.
Please do. Legend of Vox Machina.
No, first of all, thank you to Current Sun. For our music.
Thank you to Current Sun for our music.
Yeah, how was it, Legend of Vox Machina? Maybe we'll have a special episode about that by the time this is published. Who knows?
Hopefully. Who knows?
Who knows?
Thank you very much to you, dear listener.
Yes, to you, all y'all who are still listening to this.
And,
giving me fun numbers to look at. We'll see you. Oh.
What is our opinion this episode?
No, you say it.
Okay. Do not poke or debate theology with the torture victim.
We will see you all in hopefully 2 weeks.
Bye.